What's up guys? In this video I'm going to be talking about my fitness journey. Essentially, I kind of hit on this in a previous video not too long ago. If you didn't see that video, I'll definitely put a card right here so you can go check it out and then come back to this video. But just pretty much my history when it comes to fitness. As most of you know, if you're not new to the channel, you've heard me mention that I was working out way back last July, already over a year and a half ago now. But I'm just going to talk about the roller coaster it was the first 6 months to a year, and not really a year, 6 months to 8 months, somewhere in there, and just how it was a major roller coaster ride and pretty much why I had to just completely restart in March. So I started working out back in the end of July, early August of 2016. I got a license. I got a membership and started going with, at the time, was my girlfriend. She started going to the gym like that April. And me, of course, I was like, well, I don't want a girlfriend of mine being more fit than me. Like, I was just feeling like a lazy dude, essentially. So I went in there, got a membership, got started. And I had never lifted weights, like hardly at all. Like the last time I did, I would say was back in like 8th grade, whenever you have to take a weight training course for half a semester where I went to school. So that was like the last time I ever lifted weights. I didn't know what I was doing at all. I didn't watch any YouTube videos at all. I just went in there and I was like, I'm gonna hit everything. I'm gonna go 7 days a week. Let's do this. And that was all fine for the first 4 weeks or so. I was just literally doing like as much as I could for 8 to 10 reps, 3 to 5 sets of everything. I was probably doing at least 50 sets 7 days a week for a month. Then I started developing kind of like almost like a tendonitis in my forearm. I would say it was about right here in my forearm. Anytime I would do any kind of curls, because I was a curl monkey, I thought if I did curls every day, as many as I could, my biceps would just get huge overnight. Now I obviously know it doesn't work like that. I'll have a video on that in the future as well. But yeah, so I just developed tendonitis really bad in this arm, and then this arm from time to time it'd flare up. I call it tendonitis, but I don't really think it's tendonitis. I don't know really, almost like a carpal tunnel is what a lot of people compare it to. But so, I mean, even to this day, I have to be very, very careful. Like when I'm doing preacher curls, I have to do really lightweight, like no heavier than 50, 60 pound barbell or something. Now, what I do instead usually is I'll take like, right now, like a 30, 35 pound dumbbell, and I'll just do one arm at a time and isolate it. One, I'm hitting it a lot more instead of kind of doing this number, trying to stay pretty much just better form I found if I do a dumbbell, and it doesn't hurt nearly as bad. So that's a good idea if you have that same problem. But yeah, so that happened, so I had to lay off any kind of curling movements for, God, it was like 3 to 4, maybe even 5 weeks. So that happened. Then I got back in it and I started watching YouTube really hard. I started watching channels like the Hodge twins. There's this Twin Muscle Workout if you haven't seen their channel. I watched all of the Gymshark athlete channels like David Lade, Lex, and all of them. I also watched, who else? What's his name? Christian Guzman. All those big time YouTubers. I'm sure there's other ones out there as well. I watched a whole bunch. Like I just soaked it up like a sponge. And then I decided to go with a 3-day split, which I believe I posted that video a long time ago, like way back when I started this channel. But I've gone with a 3-day split ever since. I'll have an updated version of what my split looks like in a future video. I have a whole series planned out, like I said, about a lean bulking series. I mentioned that a while back. I have that playlist created, so you can go check that out if you haven't. But I'm going to be coming out with a lean bulking series specifically for anyone. Obviously we're in bulking season. I'm just gonna pretty much show you all what I'm doing, what's working, what's not working, pretty much just the whole 9 yards. I'm gonna record everything from the meals I'm eating to the intermittent fasting to when I'm training, how often I'm training, rest day, all that good stuff. But anyways, back to what the video is about. So I was hitting a good 3-day splits, seeing good gains. I started hopping in supplements, getting creatines, proteins, pre-workout, all the stuff you pretty much need. It gives you a good advantage. I mean, you don't have to have it, but it definitely gives you an advantage. Then I started having these weird spells. It started in October, near the end of October, about like this time last year actually. At first I thought I was just getting sick, so I was like, you know what? How it started was I got off the bench press like a normal day, and my feet started burning, almost like a diabetes burn or some sorts. Like they started burning, they went numb, and I just got really dizzy. I almost kind of felt like I was gonna throw up, but I didn't. And I mean, my heart rate started racing. I just had weird sensations going through my body. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go home. I've been working out for months in a row, like 2 months in a row now, doing this 3-day split. I mean, not a very long time, but I was like, maybe I just need to take a couple days off. So I took like 3 days off, went back in, felt the same way after doing a completely different exercise. I forget what now. I think it was something to do with the back, maybe T-bar row or something. I got off it, felt the same way. So I was like, okay, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I went home. Then I started having these spells in the shower where I felt like I was gonna pass out. I was having these feelings while I was driving. It was just really bad. It was like scary to pretty much do anything. Like I felt just dizzy, kind of in a haze all the time. And like it was to the point where I wasn't eating. And that's why, like I mentioned, I was losing weight, because I was eating in a massive caloric deficit. I mean, I was eating probably 1,500 calories a day when my body naturally burns 2,000 a day on top of whatever I'm doing. I mean, I was in a massive caloric deficit. I just wasn't hungry. Anytime I look at food, I would get sick. Like hands would just start shaking. Like I was just out of it. There was something going on. So I went to go see Doc after about a week or two of this, just because my life was hell, literally. And they ran blood tests. My blood and everything came back picture perfect, nothing wrong at all. They said I had slight high blood pressure and to watch it, but they said pretty much to check my blood pressure twice a day, morning, night, and any time I would get anxious, like the feelings, and it never really changed, so that wasn't it. Then they wanted to do a bunch of these other tests, so they went and did that. Nothing came back. They thought possibly even cancer. Wasn't cancer, thankfully. Just pretty much there was a whole bunch of things going on that they thought it could be. And then I mentioned finally, I was like, well, I'm taking these supplements. These are what they are, word for word. These are all the ingredients and so on. And my doctor was like, so this pre-workout you have has beta-alanine in it. And this is not to knock beta-alanine at all. It worked great. I wish I could use beta-alanine. But they said with some people, beta-alanine, these pre-workouts that have a ton of stimulants, and then on top of the beta-alanine, your body just doesn't agree with either the stimulants or the beta-alanine. So to try to get a pre-workout without beta-alanine, which if you know anything about pre-workouts, that's damn near impossible. It's really hard to find. But as soon as I hopped off, what I did was I said, forget it. Hopped off the pre-workout altogether, just drank coffee or green tea, stuff like that before I go to the gym instead. I felt better probably within a week or so. I mean, like, I was starting to feel better, but then I started thinking too much about it, so it kind of held me back from really feeling better. But I mean, I would say within a week, I was like, a week or two, I was like fine. So then I started going, I didn't go back to the gym actually, because I was so mad that I lost all that weight. I literally lost, I was up to about 168, 170, I don't remember exactly, but I dropped all the way back down to like 150, 155, something like that. And now, thankfully, I'm back up near 176, 177. Last time I weighed myself at 8.2% body fat actually. But back to the story, again, I'm trying not to get sidetracked because this is a long story. Anyways, I finally started feeling better, and by then it was January, February, somewhere in there. And then I just, like I said, forget about it. I lost all the weight. There's no point going back into the gym. I mean, as you can see, like, this actually used to be really tight on me, and I'm still gaining that weight back. Maybe, shoot, now that I think about it, I was actually up near 180 because, like I said, this was tight on me. I was 168 when I started noticing that I was losing weight. So like I was losing weight well before I even like noticed it, which is crazy. But back to where I am, it's February and I'm not working out, not doing nothing, just working like everybody. And then me and my girlfriend break up in the beginning of March, and I had nothing to do because I got too involved in the relationship, to be honest. I like dedicated my all to that relationship. And I mean, it was my first relationship. We were together for a really long time. She's a really good girl. There's nothing against her on that. Most of it was on me, to be honest. But I learned from that, and I learned that I have to have my own life, all that good stuff that you learn after a breakup. And I got back in the gym, and I would say that next week is when I got back in the gym. And I've pretty much just been hitting it hard ever since. And thankfully, I haven't had any more spells. I definitely think it was the beta-alanine, because obviously without taking it, nothing. I literally started taking something that had like literally so little beta-alanine that I didn't think it would affect anything, and literally the day I took it, I started kind of feeling weird. So I threw it in the trash right then, even though I should have just took it back. I just literally dumped it out because I was kind of pissed off I couldn't use it because it tasted really good. But yeah, I mean, ever since then, it's just been going up. I mean, I started back around 155, like I said, 155, 150, somewhere around in there. And now I'm back up to 177. Like I said, not all that's muscle. There's no way that I gained like 20, 30 pounds of muscle from March until now. We're about to head on into November. There's just no way I gained that much muscle. But I'm definitely happy at where I'm at now. I'm happy with my health. I'm happy just overall with how my life is turning out, thankfully, slowly but surely, day by day. It's a process for sure. But I thank you guys for sure that have subscribed. We're now at like 40 subscribers, I believe. So thank you guys a lot for the support. And if you're new to the channel, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button below, or I'll put it right here so you won't even have to work for it. And if you liked it, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you didn't see my previous video about how to stay lean while bulking, is it possible? That video will be right here. I'll have a better video coming out for you guys in the next few days. But until next time, hope you keep seeing some gains out there, and I'll see you all in the next video.